when we are faced with a decision, for instance, the decision, should I stay with my partner or leave? I would recommend referring that decision to one's deepest love and understanding. For instance, if we've been in a long-term relationship and we're considering leaving, all kinds of factors come into play, such as fear of being alone, or fear of what other people will think of us. These kind of decisions, I would not, these kind of factors, I would not call factors that come from our deepest love and understanding. They come from fear. And any decision that we make from fear will carry that fear into the consequences of our decision. And somehow the fear from which we made the decision will be extended into our subsequent circumstances and situations, and therefore the situation that we found ourselves in, even if we leave that situation, that relationship in this case, we will tend to find ourselves in a similar situation down the road, because we have made a decision from fear, that is from the separate self. And the separate self will be perpetuated in the next situation, in this case the next relationship. And the next relationship will again turn out to be a struggle between two separate selves. And again the conflicts will arise. So we will go on and on repeating these patterns until we make a decision that comes from love and understanding, irrespective of the consequences. That we don't think, oh, if I make this decision, what will become of me in the future? No, it's just, does this decision come from my deepest love and understanding? And if it does, do I have the courage to go ahead and implicate that decision, irrespective of the consequences?
Yes, yes.
And because a decision that comes from our deepest love and understanding doesn't contain the separate self in it, whatever circumstances follow from that decision will be free, at least to an extent, of the separate self. And therefore, if, for instance, it was a relationship, the next relationship we enter into will be, at least to a degree, free of the fears and desires and neuroses of the separate self. And therefore the next relationship, will have the best possible chance of being a truly intimate relationship, rather than a battleground between two egos.
Yes. Yes.
So that is how a decision that comes from love and understanding will express itself in our subsequent activities and relationships. And our subsequent activities and relationships will be gradually purified of the fears, the neuroses, the desires, the demands, and therefore the conflicts of the separate self.
And that actually it matched up exactly with the content in the course, trials and lessons. If you're listening to fear instead of love and making that decision, you get the trials and you get the lessons repeated.
Yes, and life has an uncanny way of manifesting in the form of our circumstances or relationships, whatever we haven't clearly looked at inside ourselves. Yes.